You'll snap out of it soon.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy the Real Quinn Jr. and I'm back with another video on Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Striker. Today I'm going to be continuing my counter series, and today I'm going to be going over another meta build that people have been running a lot. It's pretty cheesy. The build I'm talking about is going to be Uchiha Shuriken, Jutsu Oboroguruma, however you say it, and Leaf Rising Wind. So this jutsu, you get it from Sheet Sweep, and you get the Leaf Rising Wind from Rock Lee, I believe, or it might just be a stock jutsu. But anyways, I'm going to be breaking down this jutsu and showing how we can counter it, and I'm going to help you guys out so the sweaties don't be beating up on y'all in the lobbies. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. Now that I'm done trolling. So the key to learning how to counter this jutsu is knowing exactly what it does in the first place. So the Uchiha Shuriken Obo, it allows you to throw a Demon Wind Shuriken and put a command to pull it towards you. It increases movement speed, attack tracking ability, evasion range, and seals the target ninjutsu. Also empties your target substitution. So if you don't know what attack tracking is, it's basically whenever you dash towards your opponent. So you see here, this is what it looks like at normal speed. When you slow it down and look at it again, you can see you get to your opponent in a decent amount of time. So next we're going to go over what it looks like whenever you reduce the speed of attack tracking. So we use the Wind Style Great Breach in order to do this, which reduces your attack tracking ability. And you see now, he moves a lot slower. I back up and you see how the tracking isn't the same. It slows down your attack tracking, which means you can get the upper hand on your opponent whenever they're trying to rush you, which can come in handy. So then we try out with the normal Uchiha Shuriken activated, just to show you how much of a difference it is. So when you activate the Uchiha Shuriken, you can see here you rush your opponent way faster, which is what makes this jutsu so cheesy, especially when you team it up with Leaf Rising Wind and you got your opponent in the air and you can just keep rushing them. It honestly gets pretty annoying. So I'm pretty sure you already know where this video is going. If you want to counter Uchiha Shuriken, your best bet is to negate the attack tracking advantage that you have. And this would be using jutsu that can reduce movement speed. Kind of like Toad Oil Bombs, but the tracking on that jutsu is so awful that it's not really helpful. But you see here, when you add the Wind Style Great Breach to the Uchiha Shuriken boost, it kind of cancels out. So you're basically moving at normal speed, if not slower, once you add the Wind Style Great Breach. So now we're going to be going through some jutsu that do a pretty decent job at countering Uchiha Shuriken. Only negative thing is though, even when you're using the Wind Style Great Breach, it doesn't cancel out the fact that your opponent can still bring the Shuriken to you and reduce your ninjutsu to 0, and they can get rid of your substitution. So the thing is, I haven't found anything that actually knocks you out of this Uchiha Shuriken form. So with that being said, since the attack tracking boost is gone, it's best if you just know how to fight really good in hand-to-hand combat, since they don't have the speed advantage. So here we're going to try out seeing how the Uchiha Shuriken goes against Almighty Push. As you see here, Almighty Push knocks him back, but the Uchiha Shuriken form still stayed on. It just ran out. So Almighty Push works well if you time it right, but as far as it just canceling out the Uchiha Shuriken, it's not going to do you too much good. So I try out the Crystal Ice Trap and it works, but it doesn't take away the Uchiha Shuriken effect either. So that ended up being another dud. So for these videos, I've been trying to give you a counter with each different class. So when we go over the defensive build, we try to see how the Thunderclap arrow does against the Uchiha Shuriken Obo. So first we try out the Boruto stream, and you see it's actually a pretty good counter, especially considering that the Uchiha Shuriken, most of the times your opponent's going to be activating this, they're going to be trying to rush you, and they're going to be coming with a quick barrage. So this is something that you can use to get some quick space, maybe get away from your opponent, get some space. So when we actually try out the Thunderclap arrow, the fact that this is a double activation jutsu, it actually works pretty well because you stun your opponent, but it doesn't get rid of the Uchiha Shuriken state. The only thing about the Boruto stream is that the aiming on this jutsu can sometimes be pretty awful. So if your opponent's moving around a lot, or if you don't fully stun them when they hit you, sometimes you can miss, but for the most part it hits and it actually does pretty decent damage. As for the Thunderclap arrow, the hand signs on this jutsu are pretty long, so you gotta make sure you actually have some space to activate it, and honestly I would prefer the Boruto stream over the Thunderclap arrow, just for the fact that the hand signs take forever. So this last jutsu, in my opinion, is honestly the best counter to the Uchiha Shuriken. The only downfall is the fact that the cooldown for this jutsu is extremely long. So the good thing about the super weighted boulder jutsu is that you see it slows down your opponent. So basically the Uchiha Shuriken is rendered useless. Only downside about this is the fact that it's a healer jutsu, and unless you're really good with playing with healers, they're not really the best when it comes to combat. But if you know how to use it properly, you can actually utilize this. With the nervous system rupture being a good option if you want to switch up your opponent's controls, it'll probably prevent them from actually being able to fully rush you because they won't really be able to move in the right direction to hit you. But the takeaway from this, I was able to give you one jutsu from each attack class, each fighting class that gives you the best chance against this jutsu. So for attack builds, Almighty Push is going to be your best option. For ranged, the Wind Style Great Breach is nice, but the tracking on the jutsu isn't the best. Not gonna lie to you about that. When it comes to defense builds, I would suggest the Boruto stream just because of the counter aspect of it and the fact that most of the time your opponents will be rushing you. When it comes to healers, the cooldown time is long, but the super weight and boulder jutsu basically makes the Uchiha Shuriken useless, besides if they hit you with the substitution or the ninjutsu cooldown whenever the shuriken hits you. So the next video we go into is actually a little bit of a bonus. So this is the Uchiha Massacre video. So we can't talk about the Uchiha Shuriken if we're not going to talk about another cheesy jutsu, which is going to be the Uchiha Style Flame Formation. This jutsu honestly is pretty tricky. I've tried multiple jutsu to try to break through this one, and I'm not gonna lie, most of them were pretty much duds. They weren't working properly. But I did find that the jutsu that do the most effective against the Uchiha Style Flame Formation is jutsu that have 2 activations. So this will be jutsu that you can either activate it once and then hit it again, or also jutsu that last a while. So I did see that the Sand Shower was actually able to break through the Uchiha Style Flame Formation and still damage the opponent. The Thunderclap arrow was effective, but the fact that your opponent wasn't stunned whenever you hit him with the water leaves the chance that they would be able to run away after the water actually hits them. So for Uchiha Style Flame Formation, most effective jutsu I saw was the Sand Shower. And lastly, the last jutsu that ended up being effective was the 8 trigrams Hazen Strike. This was actually able to break through the flame formation and still land an attack. And this is solely because of the fact that it's a 2-part move. The first hit, which stuns the opponent, and then the second one where it actually releases the substitution. So 8 trigrams Hazen Strike and Sand Shower were able to break through the Uchiha Style Flame Formation. Now as for how these builds are actually used, the Uchiha Shuriken Obo is usually paired with the Leaf Rising Wind. If you don't know about this jutsu, the Leaf Rising Wind is something that you get from Rock Lee. And basically what it is, you teleport towards your opponent and you kick them up in the air. This breaks the guard, and it also allows you to combo your attacks. So when it comes to the Leaf Rising Wind, I mean, there's not really some specific jutsu that's going to, allow you to just counter that properly. I mean, unless you're using the 8 trigrams palm rotation, but for the most part, it's going to be on you knowing how to counter this, like being able to time it right. Or you can use your substitution. That's what I feel as though is going to be the best way to get past the Leaf Rising Wind, considering the fact that it breaks guard. As far as the Uchiha Style Flame Formation, this is more of a jutsu that's used in a team setting, so when you're actually like doing a 4 versus 4, because of the long cooldown of this jutsu is usually paired with another team member having some type of jutsu that reduces their ninjutsu cooldown time. So this will allow them to spam the Uchiha Style Flame Formation multiple times back to back. So now I'm going to show y'all a little bit of live gameplay. Stay tuned for the end of the video because I got a surprise for y'all if y'all don't already know the information. So the Wind Style Great Breach doesn't have great tracking. So you see right here, it's best if you pair it with something. And I feel like the Chidori is a good jutsu to pair it with because it doesn't stun your opponent, but it puts them in an animation where they do like this slow fall after getting hit with the Chidori, which can allow you to combo the attack and you can hit them with the Wind Style Great Breach, which actually allows it to be effective. Because it's just like the Total Bombs. When it hits, it's good, but the fact the tracking's not good, if your opponent sees you, it's pretty good from the blockers. So you see right here, I'm going to hit him with the Chidori, and then boom, turn right back around, Wind Style Great Breach, and the combo is going to land just like that. As I stated before, the Uchiha Shuriken is a little bit easier to deal with, but when it comes to the Uchiha Style Flame Formation, that jutsu is a lot harder to deal with just because of the fact I've tried a lot of different jutsu against it, and the only ones that were actually able to land some damage were the ones that have a second activation. So that was the tragic part about that. With the Uchiha Style Flame Formation, you see here I'm using the Boruto stream jutsu, and like up there you see the tracking isn't the best on it, but if you're in one-on-one situations it should be easy for you to counter with this jutsu. And I'm also pairing it with the Rasengan tool, which slows down movement speed also, which can also counter the effects of the Uchiha Shuriken Obo. Now look, don't get the wrong idea. If you do like to run Uchiha Shuriken, don't be attacking me, or if you use the flame formation. I'm not trying to attack any of the guys that run these jutsu. It would be dumb for you not to run, you know, the cheesy jutsu on this game, you know, so you can give your team the best chance of winning. All I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to give other players and new players a chance to counter these jutsu so, you know, we can have more people playing this game. Because me personally, I mean, I might have a few cheese builds, but for the most part, I try to stay away from the meta. I don't really run the Demon Hunter, Hazen Strike. I try to put things together, even though by no means am I the best player on this game. I'm constantly trying to get better every day. But yeah, just got to get that out the way, man. I'm not the best, but I'm trying to help other people be better, and maybe you can use these jutsu in a better way than what I use them. The main takeaway you need to get from this video, when it's coming to the Uchiha Shuriken Obo, your opponent's going to be rushing you. This isn't a defensive jutsu, it's a very offensive jutsu. They're going to be rushing you, trying to just spam the attack button. So having something that can counter is really good. So using something like, you know, the 8 trigrams palm rotation or Boruto stream, or, you know, if you can have something to get rid of this movement speed boost, because that's really what makes it cheesy. They do have the, you know, they can take away your substitution and seal your ninjutsu, but if you slow down their speed, you have, you know, you take away that advantage of speed that makes it so easy for them to do that. And as far as when it comes to the Uchiha Style Flame Formation, the best way to handle that is either having a jutsu that has a double activation where you can break off the flames and then get an attack, or you're going to just need to keep your distance until the Uchiha Style Flame Formation runs off. And like I said, with the Leaf Rising Wind, it's a taijutsu move. So like, as far as counters, I mean, you can easily stop it, you know, if you could time shooting a fireball or something like that, but like I said, it teleports them to you and then they kick you into the air with the Leaf Rising Wind or any of these moves. Dynamic entry, these can all be countered with, you know, shooting a fireball or using a jutsu that has super armor, but the best way is probably to sub out of it, or maybe like, you know, dodge back to dodge the move. That's the best, your best bet. It's going to be dodging. There's not really just an extremely specific jutsu that's going to counter the Leaf Rising Wind. Some things are good with it, but it's all going to be with your timing. Now, if you follow the game regularly, then you're already going to know the information that I'm going to give you. But if not, then this is going to come as a surprise and new information. Earlier this week, it was announced that DLC 25 is going to be Nagato. Now, from what it looks like in the V-Jump scans, it doesn't look like he's going to be reanimated, but it's going to be like, you know, the normal Nagato, not Pain. It looks like from one of his jutsus that it's going to be like a summoning. I think it's like the chameleon lizard, I believe, that, you know, the thing that blends into things. And like I predicted in my season 4 prediction video, people are believing that the ultimate's going to be him summoning the Ghetto statue. So I'm really interested to see how this DLC is going to come out. I mean, and he's going to be a range type. So I mean, for you ranges out there, just like we predicted, I mean, even though the theme of season 4 is regeneration, it wouldn't make sense for them to make all of the characters healers. So them not making them all healers, you know, that's a good thing. So we get in a range, which means we might get an attack and we might get a defense for the last 2 DLC. But let me know what y'all guys think about Nagato coming as the next DLC. Are you excited, or are you kind of like, I wanted somebody else? Alright, y'all. That's all the news I got for y'all today, and hopefully this video was beneficial and it was helpful for y'all. And hopefully, I mean, next time that somebody tries to hit you with the Uchiha Shuriken, you can hit them with a proper counter. But and also, you know, with the Uchiha Style Flame Formation, you know, hopefully this helps y'all better understand that jutsu and helps you counter better, and hopefully it makes you a better player. And like I said, we know Nagato's coming next. Don't really know when he's coming, but if they've already released the scan, I mean, he'll probably be coming soon. So I mean, let me know what y'all guys think about him coming, and let me know if you want me to make another video about him going more into depth before he actually releases, or I mean, if what I said is good enough for y'all. But yeah, you already know the script. All my socials are in the description. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. I appreciate any support, and all of you that's been watching every video that I've released, I really appreciate you, and I won't disappoint with the content that I have coming out in the future. Like I said, we're doing our best to keep up with weekly uploads, so turn the bell notification on so you can know whenever I drop new videos. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know what other jutsus and any other builds, you know, that y'all want me to give y'all counters for, any other meta builds that you want me to try to retire, so you know we can all get better, and so this game can be funner for everyone. But once again, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.